Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald, More Than the Score, presented by Dubuque Auto Plaza. I'm your host, Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, Telegraph Herald sports editor, Jim Leitner. How's it going, Jim?
Very good. Yourself?
Doing pretty well, and we're going to cut right to the chase here this week's episode. It is time for some Dubuque Fighting Saints playoff hockey. First round series well underway. That was kind of a...
That's kind of a lame introduction.
That's kind of a lame introduction. It's an
lame.
Exciting time of year. We're talking playoff hockey. So let's do that again. It is time for this week's episode of More Than the Score. And we're going to feature this week some cross-checking, some stick-smashing, some face-punching,
Glass rattling.
There we go. Knock your teeth out. Fighting Saints hockey in the playoffs. Does that sound good? You got the graphics,
awesome.
Paul? You got those coming to like Fighting Saints hockey. You'll add in all those effects later, right? You got that? Okay. Boom! Yeah, it's going to be the episode this week. So, Jim, you covered first two games this past weekend in Dubuque, and the Fighting Saints so good at home, and they defended their home ice.
For sure. You know, they went into the series with Muskegon, basically tied for second place in the Eastern Conference of the USHL, but they had the tiebreaker with Muskegon, so they got home ice advantage in the first round, and they took advantage of it. They needed overtime to win on Friday night, and then they won 3-0 on Saturday, so they pretty much have a stranglehold on the best-of-5 series, which actually Game 3 is tonight in Muskegon, and Game 4, if necessary, would be on Friday night. A possible Game 5 would be back here in Dubuque on Monday. But the way the Fighting Saints have been playing, they've really been taking away any kind of offensive flow that Muskegon has been able to muster up so far this series, and they're looking pretty good, like a team that is going to advance.
Yeah, now, anytime you go back home, that can certainly give you some new life. Regular season, it was pretty split between these teams. Is it safe to say, Jim, this is a series that could go to Muskegon, they get back on track, and before you know it, there's a Game 5. They have that potential?
Well, exactly. You know, in Muskegon, the series between Dubuque was split exactly right down the middle, 2 games apiece, and all 4 games were 1-goal games, so they were, games that could have gone either way. And, I think that first game Friday night at Mystique, I think that could have gone either way as well. But the Fighting Saints found a way to get that win and, to take an early lead on the series. But I would say that by no means is the series over. Muskegon has a very dynamic team. They've got outstanding goaltending in Keith Petruzzelli, so they're a team that certainly is capable of, winning that first one. I think that's the big key for Muskegon right now. Get that first win under their belts and get a little confidence going and a little bit of momentum going into Game 4. And if they win that first one on tonight, actually, anything can happen. They could turn the series around, and then the Fighting Saints would have a much bigger fight on their hands.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you covered here as the Saints continue their journey here in the postseason with these weekend matchups against Muskegon. We'll have that at telegraphherald.com as well as in the print edition. And if you're looking for coverage for the Dubuque Fighting Saints, it doesn't get any better than this guy right here, Jim Leitner. He'll have it all for you. And also now talking about the Saints, I believe there's a few of them that had a little something to do with an NCAA championship. Is that right?
They did, yeah. The Denver Pioneers actually a week and a half ago, they defeated the University of Minnesota Duluth for the NCAA Division I championship. Denver is, of course, coached by Jim Montgomery, who coached the Fighting Saints for the first 3 seasons of their existence and led them to the Clark Cup championship twice. He's the head coach at Denver, and he has 4 former Fighting Saints on his roster, led by Evan Jansen, who played here in Dubuque, who was a member of that 2013 team, as well as Dylan Gambrell. He was also part of that 2013 team. They also have Michael Davies and Blake Hillman. Those are 2 other former Fighting Saints. And they all played big roles in Denver winning the national championship. They all had really good tournaments, so it's kind of fun to watch former Fighting Saints having that kind of success on a national level.
Yep, just kind of a reminder you're seeing some good talent here in Dubuque on the Fighting Saints.
For sure. Each year it seems like the Fighting Saints are moving, 10 to 15 guys onto NCAA Division I programs. They're moving guys onto the NHL, not nearly as many as they do to college, but they are moving guys onto the NHL. So it's a great opportunity to see guys that you're going to be watching on television a couple years from down the road. And the USHL slogan is, "Who's next?" And in the USHL, that's kind of their buzzword. And there are a lot of players from Dubuque who are going to be next. They're going to be the next wave of NCAA players and NHL players as well.
Now, another former Fighting Saint, Hunter Miska, also making some news.
He did, yeah. Actually, he was the goaltender for University of Minnesota Duluth, who actually lost in the national championship game. Goaltender had an outstanding year. He was one of 5 finalists for the Mike Richter Award, which goes to the goaltender of the year in NCAA Division I hockey. He signed with the Arizona Coyotes on Saturday. He's a goaltender who just spent 1 year actually in the college ranks, and he signed a pro contract. But he's a guy who played 5 years of junior hockey, including 1 year here in Dubuque. So he kind of took his time getting to college hockey. He wanted to make sure that he was ready to play. He wanted to be an impact player right off the bat when he went to college. And he certainly did that, led his team to the national championship game. And, now he's going to play for the Arizona Coyotes. It kind of looks like he's going to start off in the minors. That's kind of the typical pattern for goaltenders when they come out of college. But, who knows, maybe 2-3 years from now, we could see him in the NHL.
All right, well, just like a good game of hockey, this was a action-packed, fast-paced edition of Telegraph Herald More in the Score, presented by Dubuque Auto Plaza. That's going to do it for our very special episode focused on Dubuque Fighting Saints hockey. Yeah, that looked good. Good?
Good to me.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. For Jim Leitner, I'm Steve Ortman. We'll catch you next week.